Well, it's not very often that we get an American-made fixed blade from Kershaw. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another gear review here at the channel. I'm hanging out doing some bushwhacking and gear testing, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you on this knife. This is the Kershaw Pack Mule, USA made. They usually leave their USA made fixed blades to the ZT department, so it's really cool when we see a fixed blade made right here in the USA. And I've now packed it in a few times and used it for just general utility around the house, and I really have some thoughts. It's a very mixed bag with this fixed blade for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to share with you what those are so that ultimately you guys can make a decision if this makes sense or if there are just better options out there. I'm going to try and run a few competitive options, and we're just going to have fun, just hanging out in the woods, kicking it, talking about blades. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and have some fun. Now I want to begin with the sheath because it definitely has left me kind of scratching my head a little bit. Now in concept, there's a lot to like. It's Kydex, it's got good tension, it's relatively quiet, and it has a drop webbed, belt attachment. It's lock compatible, blade tech lock, ulti-clip, whatever you want. So there's a lot there. As it comes like this, there's definitely some questions that I have. Here's what's going on. It has a ton of excess Kydex down here, meaning that the footprint is almost as large, within like a quarter of an inch, to a much larger fixed blade with a taco design sheath. This thing is broader, bigger, thicker in every way, and this is only about a quarter inch smaller. So that was the first thing. We could have shrunk down the footprint, I think, a little bit and gotten a little bit more capability out of it. The second thing is that though these eyelets are blade tech lock and Molly lock and ulti-clip compatible, this Kydex right here goes all the way around, so it's just adding to weight that something like this doesn't have, and it's not ambidextrous. If I unscrew this and then try to swap the strap to the other side for a lefty, I'm not going to be able to do that. Whereas something like this, I'm able to unscrew it, and because it's just, I just swap it to the other side, now I have my ambidextrous taco design sheath. So there's a lot of like over engineering and too much footprint, I feel like, going on there though. But other than that, the thumb ramp is fine. You can easily pull out and deploy, and you don't have to do any sort of walk up. And there we go. There's the rest of the blade. Now, there are some other things with the blade itself that I'm on the fence about. Some things I like, some things I'm like, I don't know. So now to the blade. I really like that profile, that drop. It's full flat grind. Let's see how this will fillet the skin. Ooh, I'm digging that. Let's go again. Yeah, excellent. 3.9 inches, so like right there, very capable, and a crossover rolls for the outdoors. Excellent, excellent. Partly because of the slightly thicker stock and the full flat grind combo. Really thin full flats sometimes are kind of hard to control for feather sticking and fine cuts like this on wood, but this one, dude, that's good, man. But also for just general utility, hunting, fishing, I mean, you name it. We're looking at 5/32 of an inch thick, so it's got some good durability, a little bit broader, so it's going to be able to engage with wood, do woods working, woods crafting, all that type of stuff, cleaning a fishing game, all the things, cordage. Let's see if it behaves differently on paracord here. That wasn't bad. I used it in a lot of different rolls, and I was really happy with that. It has a 90-degree spine, so you can throw sparks, so it's definitely something that you could use hiking, backpacking. I think a lot of hikers and backpackers who are counting a lot of ounces, and they want to cut down on weight, but you still want like a full tang, knife that has some size behind it. This, I'll annotate it in, I can't remember. It's like 5 ounces, something like that with the sheath, and a little bit less for something, as it is. And so for this size of knife, great for that. Now here's where there's one aspect. You can actually feel it when you hold. The tip is very precise. Do not be prying with this. I wish that they had kept a little bit more meat in the last about half inch of that tip. It means it's extremely precise, great for precision cuts, but I would not be like stabbing and prying with this thing. And it would have been nice because you can literally feel the transition and kind of the grind go in. I wish they kind of kept that a little thicker, a little fatter at the tip, just by a little bit. It's not bad, but you just need to be aware it is precise. Think more along the lines of like a full flat grind Spyderco tip. So whatever you could do with like that type of a folder, like a Delica or something, that's kind of how this is on the tip. And Pack Mule just feels like you're gonna get kicked in the head by a Pack Mule or mule train. You know, I would have liked a little bit more robustness on the tip. That's just something to note in the sense of its design. You'll have to determine whether or not that makes sense. Handle, we got G10. It has some good rounding on the shoulders here and then flat on the sides with some, I'd say medium texture. It's not super grippy, but it's not slick either, and it's not high polish, which is good. Got a couple little accent cut-ins. Good finger indexing right there. I can really lock myself in. And then they've given us light hits. If we're going to do jimping, that's the way to do it right there. It's inside the choil for your indexing and then on the back points, but the scales are flush, so it just gives you just a hair to grab onto without being hot or abrasive. So I really like that. And it does really fill out the hand well without being like bulky and overbuilt. Now, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, black sheath, gray and black. I mean, this is like budget arena for Kershaw. Here's exactly what I mean by that. This is a budget offering from Kershaw, the STEPPE, and it's actually a great like $45, $50 fixed blade, but it's made in China, D2 steel. And then if you're looking online or you see this in a case and you see this right next to it, you're gonna have a really hard time understanding why this is significantly more expensive, and it's just gonna kind of blend together unless you actually start digging into materials and get into the details. But you look at their USA made launch series and you can see the patterns, the colors drastically stand out from something like this. So right away, you know something different is going on. It would have been just fun for them to maybe do like micarta on here, you know, and do like a tan micarta and maybe do like a black wash or something like that. Whatever. It's not the end of the world, but when you see so many, it's easy for it to just kind of like blend in, I guess. Now to the last piece, which is the steel choice. They went with N690. Now, there's nothing wrong with N690. It's in the 440C. Some people may even argue like VG10 family. I have many knives with it. Performs fine. It's rust resistant, relatively easy to put an edge on, and holds a decent edge. Nothing wrong with it. But as a knife lover, it just doesn't really get me excited. And what I really wish Kershaw would have done is something like CPM 154 that they use on their American launch series. Great steel, they do great work with it, they know how to use it, and that would have kind of got the juices flowing a little bit and like, okay, and especially when we start talking about price and starting to kind of weigh what else is available, even that Kershaw does. And to be clear, they sent me this sample, and as always, I show you what I like and what I don't. And the best price I could find on this knife is $170 at GP Knives. I'll have links to all the affiliate networks that I partner with in the description box below. And when we talk about $170 for N690, and I was looking, and the launch American-made Magna Cut, not that much smaller, with aluminum and micarta inlays and the automatic feature and just all the other things, and obviously Magna Cut, far superior to N690, same price. Same price for both of these blades right here. I'm kind of like, I don't really get that. And maybe if it was like 125 bucks and 690 American made, I'd be like, yeah, okay, this is kind of making sense. But I don't know, the math just is kind of like not mathing. And I just want to run a fixed blade for comparison. Here is the Czech Republic made ANV Knives P200, very similar size. It's lightweight, it's thin, full flat grind, Kydex sheath, Sleipner steel. Last I checked, I think it was 135 to 145. Just depends on where you're picking it up, and last time I checked. And if you were to ask me between Sleipner steel and N690, Sleipner's better in just about every way from my experience, except for rust resistance. That's really the only thing. And so, I don't know. It's kind of hard, guys. I love the profile. I love the profile of this knife. This knife deserves, I guess, some more style and possibly a slight steel upgrade. Like, I'd love to see a Pack Mule 2.0. You know, maybe give us like some sort of leather friction sheath like this, simple, nothing crazy, and then throw some sort of, you know, like micarta, you know, like a tan micarta on this blade, and then give us CPM 154, or give us, you know, M4. They use that sometimes with some of their autos. Give us like an M4. And if they could keep it around like the $200 price range, I would be ecstatic, because the design itself deserves a lot of capability, and I think a lot of people will dig it. I just feel like maybe some of the execution parts, I don't know. For me, it's not connecting. It's not connecting in a few different ways. So hopefully we see a Pack Mule 2.0. Leave a comment below what you think about this design. Does it really connect with you? Does it check the boxes? It is lightweight. It is American made. It definitely does have some capabilities and design features. I just see that it could have been so much more than it is. That's me. That's my mileage. Appreciate you guys hanging with me today. I hope it's been fun, entertaining, giving you the data that you need. Leave comments, questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Check out the other video. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.